For nearly 5 years, this casita rodante has been our cozy home as we've explored North, Central, and South America with our 3 adventure-loving dogs. Today, we slide our door open to give you a closer look at how the 5 of us live in the 70-square-foot self-built camper we call home. We're Steph and Alejo, and this is our van tour. ¡Vámonos! Look what we have here. We have a little doggy door. So if the dogs are inside, we use this so they don't run away or run out without our permission. Here we have our little pull-out table. So if we want to put like snacks or drinks while we're hanging out outside, we pull this out and put stuff outside. We also have our light switch here for the kitchen area.
And here we have our 120 volt fridge that we've used since we took off pretty much. It has been super convenient. I was scared that it was not gonna last because it's not made for moving vehicles, but it's actually really good. And even though it's 120 volts, it doesn't consume a lot of electricity. It's a perfect size for 1 week worth of meals.
Here we have our closet, which is not really known in vans our size for people to have actual closets, but we have one. A big one, actually. Here we have our dirty clothes. So this is where we keep our dirty clothes, and you can see it's divided, right? Here is Alejo's part of the closet. So this is his, and then here you can see also it's divided, and this is my closet. So we have a lot of stuff in here. We try to keep it as organized as possible. I used IKEA separation boxes. I don't know what they call it, I forget. We have this just to keep everything organized, and you can see I have a lot, very deep. As you can see, I have jeans and shorts and leggings and overalls. I mean, I have a bunch of stuff in there. Alejo does too on his part of the closet. This IKEA container is actually very nice because if you fold your clothes nicely, like Marie Kondo style, you can fit a lot of stuff in there. So that's why we have a lot of stuff. And then here we have the hanging closet, which is where we hang our jackets. So like big sweaters or jean jackets. And yeah, and then here I have my little self-care, I would say I call it my little self-care cream lotions side of the closet. It's filled with just my skincare stuff. So it's really nice. It's all my stuff in here. Because you could live in a van and have a routine. You can live in a van and do those things too. You don't have to look like a crazy person. Not saying that people look like a crazy person. I mean, sometimes I do. We have our days. We all do. And then we also have our shoes here. We got this, I think IKEA as well. It's actually shoe container as well. And Alejo's shoes are here, and these are my shoes here. We have sandals, sneakers, boots, hiking boots. I even have high heels that I've used actually a few times in the van when we go dancing or something, or we have like a nice date night or something. I use it. So yeah, this is our closet.
All right, so this is the restroom that we decided to build for our van. We didn't want to compromise. We wanted to have a shower and a toilet in our van, and that's what we built. We find ourselves using our shower daily. Of course, if there's no showers in the campground, if there's a shower in the campground, then we'd rather use their water. But if not, we have a 40-gallon water tank that provides water to our shower and our kitchen, our sink. So that's more than enough to last us about a week if Steph doesn't wash her hair often. We also have a cassette toilet. I know a lot of people aren't fans of cassette toilets. It stores about 5 gallons of black water. And we've been using it for the past 5 years without issues. We dump it pretty much anywhere there's a toilet or a porta potty or dump station. I have found myself pulling this thing around in the streets of Mexico, and also in Belize. Somebody asked me, "Is that a boombox?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's a boombox," but it wasn't. On this side, we have our shampoo and our conditioner. We actually didn't have a toilet paper cover, but added this later on during our trips because that was another thing that we had to pull out in order to shower. Otherwise, it will get wet. Our shower, of course, we try to keep it as easy to use as possible. So we don't store a lot of things in here. What you see, how you see it right now, is how we usually keep it. If we want to, oops. If we want to shower, the only things that we have to do is pull out our towel, take the doggy water out, and then we just walk in, close the door, and run our shower. Woo! Just kidding, I'm not gonna run that. Shower head is retractable, so we can use it to wash whatever we want in there. And yeah, we do have cold and hot water, but we rarely use the cold. Our toilet actually has a 2.5 gallons of fresh water as well that we fill up through here using the shower head, and we use that water to flush. It doesn't have a lot of pressure, but at least it helps out keeping it clean.
Here we have our beautiful kitchen. We have a 2-burner gas stove. Then we have our kitchen drawers, which we have our plates and our cookware, like our pan, our pot, all the good stuff. In here, we have all of our cooking items like spray oil, things to cook, like bake, although we have our little air fryer to bake, so I can say we bake. And all right, we have cups here and our coffee cup. I also have this little one that I love that we got in Colombia, little like me. I don't drink a lot of coffee, so yeah, it's perfect for me. And we also have this area has our medicine, and then here we have more cooking stuff, our spices and our avena, oatmeal, and more cooking stuff. Here we have our kitchen sink. I'm not gonna waste a lot of water because we only have a 40-gallon water tank and they usually last like, nowadays like 5 days. But if we're conservative, it lasts a week, but I'm not conservative. I'm gonna be real. I love this sink because it's deep and we're able to put a lot of dirty plates in here and wash them comfortably. And we have our stove here and our hand sanitizer. Very important to have a hand sanitizer. Here we have our microwave, which I know a lot of people don't have, but it was a must for us because first of all, I don't love cooking and I wasn't gonna heat up our food every time on the stove. So the microwave has come in handy and we use it tons, like every day. It doesn't consume a lot of energy, so it's nice. And we also use it for storage for our bread and our little rice cooker and waffle maker. So it comes in handy for many things as well. And it was an empty space too, so use it for something useful. And then on top of it, we have cereal and pasta. So yeah, another storage area.
Behind our shoe rack that we had here in the closet is our electrical system. We have a 2000-watt inverter that we use to just plug in our laptops. It also powers the microwave. We never had any issues with it in 5 years. We have a battery charger just in case we need to charge our batteries, but I've never actually, I think I've used it like a couple of times. We don't have a way to charge our batteries through shore power, so we usually just charge them by using a alternator charger or the solar that we have in our roof. We have 3 lithium batteries, each one with 170 amp hours, which is a total of like 110 amp hours, if I'm not mistaken. And then use the fuse box for all of our 12-volt power stuff. And then a couple of switches to turn off the solar, close the circuit down in case we need to work on anything electricity related. Few fuses. We have our battery monitor here from Victron that tells us that we are right now at 32% left on the battery. So luckily we have about an hour drive today, so we'll be able to bring them back up. And crossing fingers, Ecuador gives us some good sunlight in the next few days so we can bring our batteries up a little more. But overall, I think the battery bank that we have, it has worked out for the two of us, for the equipment that we usually have to charge.
Here we have our utensils. We have a little bit too much right now. We actually use it all, so all of this stuff is necessary for cooking. Here we have all of our toiletries and makeup and toothbrush and hairbrush. Here is our miscellaneous drawer. We have batteries, chargers, I don't know, markers, a bunch of stuff in there that we use. And then this is our garbage, and we have our cleaning, some of our cleaning products there. Here we have a little pantry where we store more food and snacks. We actually built this in Mexico as well because there was like an empty space between the bed and the kitchen, and we needed, again, storage, because when you live in a van for 5 years, you're gonna need storage, a lot of storage. So, and underneath our kitchen sink, we have our 5-gallon gray water tank. We also have some snacks, more cleaning products, and other miscellaneous stuff in here that we also use. This is our queen bed. It's a dinette bed conversion. We have converted this bed into a dinette Monday through Friday, and on the weekends we relax. So today is Saturday, we don't make the bed, but we're gonna show you guys how it obviously looks. We actually changed our mattress not too long ago because the old one was giving us back pain, but now it's better because it's a little thicker, and I'll show you. It's thicker and just more comfy. So it is a memory foam bed. It's pretty comfy. You can see we both fit comfortably. We sleep this way, like our heads that way and our feet facing that way. And because Alejo is tall and his feet still like go like this a little, but I'm tiny, so I sleep comfortably, and you can see. When we convert the bed into like an office area, we have more space here. So the kids, the dogs have more space here too as well. But usually one of our dogs sleep here. We call it the cave because it looks like a little cave, and he loves it. Like if he's not sleeping there, he's gonna be crying all night. So he loves sleeping there. And 2 dogs actually fit in there, sometimes 3, but 2 comfortably. And our other princess sleeps over there. So on the hallway or by the fridge area. So yeah, this is our bed. It's very comfortable. Here we go. Time to make the bed. Really, it doesn't take long. It takes like 5 minutes to do. So this is our conversion. It actually can go all the way to the back, but we didn't like that after a year because it was a lot of work and we had to put everything away, and we kind of miss having this a place to lay down and chill. If we decide like we want to take a break from work, we can just, you know, lay down and take a nap, which is nice. And then, one sec. That was too comfy. We can also work from here. We actually sit here and where Wookie is, but I don't want to move my doggy. He looks comfy there. But we work on each side. So we'll have the computer here and the computer there. And yeah, and it's also where we have lunch and breakfast. And this is how the dogs chill throughout the day if they're not outside hanging out. One is here, over there, Lance is over there, Wookie's over here, sometimes Leia is over here laying in bed with Wookie, or she's mostly outside, honestly. Out of all the 3 dogs, she's the one that likes to be outside the most because Wookie and Lonzo get really sick of being outside after like an hour. So yeah, they really like their space here, and he likes to give people his back because he's antisocial.
All right, so what do we have in this corner of our little home on wheels? We have a TV that we use fairly often. I would say at least 3 times a week to watch whatever it is that we're watching, a show, Big Bang Theory, The Office. We also have a Gobi thermostat, which is connected to the Wi-Fi, so we always know, as long as there is connection, what the temperature and the humidity is inside the van. So it comes in super handy whenever we leave the dogs inside the van and we're walking away to go to a restaurant or to go and check out a town. We can always monitor what the temperature is to make sure that the dogs are safe and that the temperature is ideal for them. We have 4 lights in the back that are turned on and off with this switch, and then the ones in the front with the other switch. We also have a carbon monoxide alarm that has come in super handy. I don't know why I'm removing. I'm actually gonna leave it there, but it's gone off a few times. We've had a few incidents. We have one here and one in the front over there, so we have 2, just like there is no single point of failure. We have our charging station, so we connect our USBs to charge our phones. This is how we know how much fresh water we have. This is our diesel air heater thermostat, so this is how we control it when we want to turn it on and off. We also have an air conditioner thermostat. We set to ourselves we want to have the comfort of a house, so we install one. Initially it didn't have a thermostat, so you had to like turn the knob on and off, but that was very painful because sometimes you're sleeping and it will get too cold and now you have to get up and turn it off, and then you get too hot. So we install a thermostat that just controls automatically the temperature here inside the van. And we have our max air fan control that we use to turn on and off whenever we are, for example, if we are showering and there is carbon monoxide coming from the heater, then we just turn the extractor on to make sure that it's just being extracted away, and then our alarm would tell us if something is happening otherwise, right? And we have our max air fan cover. Comes in super handy whenever we want to make sure that either the heat or the cold is not escaping the van, so we use that. And of course our mosquito killer, which Leia gets super afraid of, and she's already looking at me like, what are you pulling that stuff for? We also decided to put a Wise cam in our van because we wanted to monitor the interior of the van while we were gone. So sometimes when we're in hikes and we have signal, we can look. If the dogs are not allowed to come with us, we want to monitor and make sure they're okay, they're comfy, but also for break-ins. Luckily, we haven't had any break-ins in the almost 5 years that we've been living in this van, but it always gives us a peace of mind. It is connected to Starlink, so as long as Starlink has signal, then we'll be able to monitor it from our phones. So it comes in super handy. You can get also notifications if a person comes inside. I want to be notified instead of finding out when we walk back to the van, like, hey, somebody was in here, right? So super handy. We don't pay anything for it monthly. Of course, you can pay for it and get more stuff, like you can get playbacks and stuff for I don't know how long, but I recommend you install one if you ever decide to live on the road or if you're already on the road.
So here we have our little nightstand. We'll put my journal, my Apple Watch to charge, and my headphones or my earrings. I have my headphones here hanging, and my eye mask, things like that. And then we have our little basket here to put our books, our journals, or coloring books, or whatever we please, and some lights here. We also have these window covers, which we got from VanEssential. They have come really handy. I'll show you. Look, it's completely dark now. It's a really nice window cover. We have loved it. We actually got them a year ago and they have been a game changer for us. We really feel like it keeps out the heat or the cold and the light coming in while we're sleeping when the sun comes out. These are other window covers that we have loved because they're also from VanEssential and they really cover the back doors really nicely. Yeah, look, it's so nice. It really keeps out the cold and the heat and all the light coming in. The ones we had before, where we made them, they sucked. These ones are really nice. So I don't know why we waited so long to get them. Okay, so here we have our cupboards, and each cupboard holds different things, and I'll show you. Here we have cooking stuff, Tupperwares and spices and medicine, supplements and things like that. Here is Alejo's cabinet, which has just camera stuff or cables, you know, stuff like that he needs. Here we have just a bunch of stuff, like random things, you know, woman stuff, my hats, my beanies, the dog's stuff, medicine, creams, and arts and crafts, just stuff. More stuff. A lot of storage we have, but necessary things. Here I have more clothes. Don't judge me. I have more clothes here. I have dresses, skirts in here, and more winter clothes here. So just like more jackets and stuff, long sleeve shirts and belts, which I'm not gonna lie, I use them rarely, but I'm gonna make it a thing to start using them more often. So in these two benches that we have here, this is all storage. So we usually have to remove one of these things to make it easier for us to open up the storage, but it's pretty much looks like this. And it's actually pretty deep and pretty big, and all four of them are like this. So we have divided them into 4 drawers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and they all hold different things. So this one holds our air fryer, our camera gear, miscellaneous things that we need. But this one has all of our camping gear, skiing stuff.
This is what we have on this side of the bench. We have our tool bag, which we use to repair stuff. We have our leveling blocks as well that we use to level our van whenever we parked at uneven spots. A bunch of like spare parts that I brought from the US because we're in a Pan American highway journey, and I knew that ordering stuff from Amazon wasn't gonna be easy. So I brought a lot of like solar connectors and terminals and things of that nature. And then under here is where we have our 40-gallon fresh water tank that provides water everywhere. We have our water pump. Here is where we have our water heater. It's coming really handy. There was a point in time where it broke and they sent us a new one, and that one has worked super well since they replaced it. And we actually have some extension cords here, Starlink extension cord, because it's super fragile, and there was a time where our Starlink cable broke and we were in Mexico. We had to order one and it took a while, and we didn't have any internet, so always carry a spare one just in case. And yeah, that's what this bench looks like. All right, so this is our mosquito net that we installed recently. This is from VanEssential, and it has come in super handy during our Pan American highway journey because we've encountered plenty of mosquitoes, flies, a lot of things with wings just trying to get into our van. So it has come in super handy. It uses magnets, so we can just easily come in and out and don't have to worry about closing it right behind us. Of course, on this side we also have like to zip it up, and sometimes when we're cooking we just have to bring it up a little because the stove is so close to it. We don't want to damage it. But yeah, I strongly recommend you install one of these if you are on the road.
Since we take out the dogs so much, we wanted their stuff to be reachable. So we put their towels here to clean their paws, because I do clean their paws before they enter, especially when it has rain or there's a lot of mud or dirt. I clean their paws here. We hang their collars and leashes, and here we have more leashes if they need it, if we ever need it, and just little things that we added so that it's easy for us to bring the dogs in and bring the dogs out in the morning, in the afternoon, and at night. Here we have the pocket door we built in Mexico. We installed it because of safety and cooling reasons. We actually had curtains before, but when we knew we were going to do the Pan American Highway and we knew we needed to ship the van from Panama to Colombia and put it in a ferry and give our keys away to some stranger, we wanted to feel like the van was safe. It keeps our van actually cooler and it feels more private. It feels more secure. So it's nice. So we love our pocket door, and we are able to lock it here and from both sides, this side and the other side. So like if someone was to break in from here, they're not going to be able to open the door. And we also have a lock here that we actually use often, especially when we leave the car on the street, and it makes it really hard for somebody to come inside the van because we actually have a lock outside as well. So it's really nice. We love our pocket door. Here we have a full-size mirror because we didn't have one for, I think, the first 4 years of us living in the van, and I never knew how I looked. So now I know how I looked. I got my outfit on point. Also, it's cold. I have like 2 sweaters. So yeah, this shows me that I don't look like a crazy person when I step out.
In here we don't have much other than a shower that comes in handy whenever we have to shower our dogs because they went on a hike and they're super muddy. We use this. It pulls out like this, and we don't have hot water on this side, so sorry buddy, only cold water for you. And We also have like a cigarette plug that I use to charge my Nintendo Switch or other appliances, or if I need to run, for example, the air compressor to fill up our tires. We have one in the front and I install one in the back. And you want to make it, you want to say something to the camera? And lastly, this is the female inlet for the air conditioning. This is where I plug the extension cord from the generator here, and then that's how we power it. We're here in Ecuador in high altitude. The weather has been very flaky, so I'm gonna close now because I know this guy hates the rain and the princess too. So I'll see you guys in a little. We also have an inflatable kayak, which usually I put inside the benches, but I've been lazy lately, so I'll just store it here. And our camping chairs, because we use them so often, I usually just put them up here. And this is the extension cord we used to run our AC, but of course we have a longer one in case the campground offers electricity. We just plug one end in here and then run the other end to the generator. Bye, Lay. Alright, so out here we have a lot of things that I wanted to show you. One of those things is the track pads that we've used a few times. Mexico, Guatemala, and pretty much everywhere where we've gotten stuck. We have our 5-gallon gasoline jerry can, which we use to power a generator, which is here. And this generator we usually use to run our AC, in case you were wondering. We built this box. We had it customized in Mexico and we put it in the back door so we can easily just run extension cord here and just flip this up so all of the carbon monoxide can go away, and then we just flip the switch on and pull the cord right here. I'm not gonna run it because we're in a campground and I don't want to be annoying, but that's how we run our air conditioning. We have our surfboard, which we got in Mexico, and on the other side we have our awning, which we rarely use because we're always moving too much. It has come in handy whenever we've used it at the beach to keep the dog from the sun hitting them directly. This is the locks we use to put on our back door and on our sliding door when we shipped our van from Panama to Colombia, and gave us a peace of mind that the doors were locked. Nobody was gonna be able to access the interior through here. And out here we haven't done many upgrades to the van other than just added all-terrain tire. Woof, starting to rain. In Wyoming it was snowing a lot, so tires came in handy. We added some color because we didn't like the plain white, so we call our van Beluga. It already lost that all white color, so anyways, it kind of gave us a way for other people to recognize us on the road. Like sometimes we get texts from our friends like, hey, I saw your van, because of the orange patterns. We haven't done much to the front. We added some of that orange pattern as well. We cleaned the fog lights because it's a 2015 Ford Transit with 100,000 miles on it already, so it's just regular maintenance that we have done. We added some fog lights that help us because the lights of these vans are not strong enough, and we have a tinted windshield, so it's a little bit hard to see whenever we are driving in the dark. But because we are in the Pan American Highway, we haven't driven in the dark that much. Usually we only drive during the daylight. What do we have up here in the roof? Not much other than our solar panels. Each one is 100 watts. And we have a little tiny one back there on top of the AC that is about 30 watts, I believe. We also have our fan. We have a roof rack that I actually improvised. We have our AC, of course. In Texas, we used it. It was like about 115 degrees Fahrenheit, super hot. And then we used it all throughout Central America and also Colombia because the country I'm from had some regions that were extremely hot, like Cartagena. Back here we have a small little deck that we can use to sit down. In Alaska, when we were watching a bear, we came up here and it was nice to hang out, watch the sunset and see wildlife. And then we also have our Starlink antenna, which we initially had the pole and we had to put it up and bring it down, but we got tired of that, so we saw that people were flat mounting it on the roof, so we decided to do the same. So we usually keep our Starlink on from 8 in the morning until about midnight, and then we have like a smart outlet that shuts it off a specific schedule. And yeah, but we usually have it on even when we're driving. And then we also have a Weeboost back there. We use it on and off depending on the situation. If we need cell signal for whatever reason, we have to call somebody and we cannot do it through Starlink, then that's the way to go. We also got these window covers to give us some privacy. I don't know how we survived like 4 years on the road without them. We also have the windshield cover in the front that is retractable, so we can just store it on the windshield, not have to like find a place to put it away and it falling down and stuff. Some gel cushions, just because we want to ride comfortably, especially because we usually do 4-hour drives, so they're not that long, but these seats aren't the most comfortable. And we also have a container here where we store the doggy food, because we have 3 dogs. We have to store a lot of food and we wanted easy access for them, so that's where we store the food. And then just random stuff here like rain jackets for the doggies, the binoculars, and thing to brush them in case they're laying on the dirt and they have a lot of dirt in them. We just brush them, and some weights to exercise because want to keep a little bit of our routine on the road. So yeah, that's all we have on this side. We also have a drumobile car alarm installed in our van, and we can pretty much do and see anything in our phones as long as we have, of course, connection. Right now we can see our location, and I can unlock the van if I wanted to. I can remote start the car. I can see the battery levels. I can see if the doors are closed or open, if the alarm is on, if the engine is on. It also has sensors that tell you somebody breaks a window. It detects that sound and sends you a notification saying, hey, a window was broken. I can also remote start it. These are our 3 dogs, Wookie, Lonzo, and Leia.
He is a rescue from Mexico, and she's a rescue from Florida, and we got Lonzo when he was just 2 months old, and they've been living in the van for quite a while now.
Yes.
Okay, a sit-down session. I know a lot of you will have questions in regards to the van and how do we afford it and what we've done and how we do it and how we did it, right? How we got to this point. So
few things that we didn't mention is that we traveling in a 2015 Ford Transit 250 that we bought with 25,000 miles in 2018,
2018.
and we transformed over the period of a year.
It cost us, I think, 26,000 the van when we bought it at that time.
Just the cargo van, not the conversion. We spent about, I don't know, 15,000 or 18, between 15 18,000 initially on the conversion. Throughout the years, we've added a few other things that we realized, hey, we cannot live without this, or this will make our life so much simpler. So we added like the awning, and we increased the water tank size, and a few other things that just made our life easier on the road, right? And we picked the Ford Transit because of affordability. It's been pretty reliable, other than preventative maintenance like oil changes to the transmission, to the engine, to the differential. We've done a few other fixes. Right now we're actually here in Ecuador waiting on parts. The wheel bearings in the front gave up on us, but the van turned 100K in Colombia, so it's expected.
How do we get here? So let's start from the beginning. On my birthday in 2017, Ale asked me if I wanted to do like a little road trip in San Francisco for my birthday in a minivan, and I said, yeah, of course. He was like, either we do Airbnb or we rent this minivan, and I opted for the minivan because that sounds so much more fun.
Right.
And literally that's how it started. We fell in love with living in this minivan. It literally had nothing, like nothing.
No toilet, no
No
shower.
toilet, no shower. Like we had to go pee at the gas station.
It was our first time sleeping
Yeah.
at a parking lot.
They gave us like the outdoor showers, and we were showering outside, like in the mountains. So we didn't know we were starting, right? So it's like so many things that you learn along the way. But we were learning a lot along the way. But then we rented another one the following months, and then another one, like a bigger one, the following months after that. And we just kept falling in love. And I kept telling Alejo, like, let's get one, like it'll be so fun if we live in one. And then we also started following. At the time there were not many van lifers. There were, but they were not all over social media like there are now. But I started following a few, and I was like, oh my God, if they could do it, we could too. After that last rented van we got, I told Alejo, we need to get one. And he was very hesitant because he was like, I don't know how we're gonna do this. Like, he has so many questions. He's the logical one. I'm the dreamer. I like go over here. He goes very to think it, which is perfect. It's a perfect balance between the both of us because sometimes when I'm over here, he can bring me down, or sometimes when he's too logical, I can bring him up. So, So yeah, it's a good balance. But anyways, we ended up, he started looking into Facebook Market and Craigslist, and we started looking at different vans, and he found this one, and we were just going to go check it out. And
And this is what we ended up with.
this is what
We ended up bringing our van home,
Yeah.
which we named Beluga,
Beluga.
at the time because it was, white, and it is smart. It is smart van, right? So
Yeah.
Belugas are white and they're smart.
And they're smart. And we love the ocean. We live in Florida most of our lives. I'm from Venezuela, and
Yeah, and I'm from Colombia. But we live mostly in the States for about 20 plus years or something.
23 years, I would say. Like 20 years we lived, or I mean, we still live in the States. It's just right now we haven't lived in the past year. But I migrated to Miami with my family at the age of 9, and Ale at the age of 16. So, and then we lived there until we were in our mid 30s, or early 30s. So
Yeah.
we lived there most of our lives. We grew up there in the Miami area, so we love the ocean. And but we also don't have in Miami and Florida, South Florida, we don't have mountains or anything.
Yeah,
It's all flat. So for us, this was just perfect. It's a venture of traveling through different places. And for me, that was the motive and the drive. I was like, I want to travel, but I want to travel differently. I don't want to travel on a backpack or plane by plane. I want to travel slowly, and I want to take my dogs with us. So it was more of that thinking of how do we do this? How do we travel with the dogs, and how do we make this happen?
Yeah.
So we got
I
the
think
van.
for me, I was like, every time during the work commute, I was like, what if I could just drive and not have to come back to a house? And at the beginning, it was a bit scary because, of course, it was a big expense in a big vehicle that I was, making a bunch of holes to, and I didn't know if things were gonna work out. So it was scary, but it ended up working out. We got the van, we converted it in about a year on and off because we weren't in a rush. We had been living in a house for about 2 years
That we bought.
we bought and we sold before taking off.
Yeah.
Um,
And another thing, sorry to interrupt, but another thing is for those who want to maybe buy a van, we didn't like pay cash. We took out a loan and took out a loan to get the car. So we paid it off in about 3 to 4 years. We paid it off like 2 years ago.
so yeah, and there are many ways you can do this. Like we got into that, but there's a lot of people that get a super cheap van and they get their family members to help out build, and they go out and recycle furniture to build it. So there are many ways to do this, not just one way. This is just the way we did it. How long have we been traveling in this van? Well, it's in February of 2025, which is right around the corner, is gonna be about 5 years that we have lived here.
She's
And
crazy.
it is crazy because we've only planned for 1 year. As I said to myself, if I can live 1 year in this thing, I'll be set. Like I'll be happy knowing that we built it to accomplish something and that something was accomplished. But obviously we liked it so much that we are we have been here for 5 years already.
Yeah, and don't get us wrong, their van life, some people portrayed it as this really beautiful, perfect thing. It's not, there has been moments. Okay, there has never been a moment where I'm like, I'm so sick of this. No, but there has been days that I'm like, I'm exhausted, because it comes with a lot, especially when you have 3 dogs and, it's a lot, right? And you live with someone 24/7 and you don't really have your own space to go to. So yeah, it's challenging at times. It has its hard moments, especially when something breaks, when something has to be fixed, when something's not going the way you plan. But that's life, that's going to happen anywhere, whether you live in a van or you live in a house, an apartment, wherever, right? So van life is not perfect. It's not always fun and adventure. It's also work, dedication and commitment and pain and it's a lot of things, just like anything in life.
Compromising.
It's a lot of compromising. You're sacrificing a lot for other things, right? You're sacrificing a lot of things, and you have to be okay with that sacrifice and know what you're getting yourself into. So that's why we always advise people to first try it out, even if you're renting one for a few weeks or a few days, and try it out in different states with different weathers, to see if something you can live in.
So what do we do for a living?
What do we do? Okay, so when we were building the van, I was a marketing executive, and then I quit when we moved in, and I took like a few months off, and then I've been doing kind of like virtual assistant, content creation, social media management. I've done so many different things throughout my time now living in the van that I don't even know anymore. But I've done a lot of remote things.
Multitask.
And I find all of my jobs on Craigslist, which is, I know, crazy to say, but I find all of them.
Right now, I'm taking a career break. The first 4 years of living on the road, I was working as a software engineer, and I was working remotely, of course. And but when we decided we wanted to drive south and do like Central America and South America, I was like, okay, that's gonna be a little bit hard for me to work full time and do all of this planning and driving, and it was too much. And we had already gotten a taste of it when we drove through Mexico, so I decided to just save a lot of money to then take a year and a few months off. I'm actually in my 10th month already, so
Yeah.
And by the way, if you're hiring, I'll have my resume ready.
He's the best guy. He really works hard. I'm not being biased.
Anyways, where have we been?
So where have we taken this van? So we've been now through North America, Central America, South America. So all the way to Alaska. And now we're trying to drive all the way down to Ushuaia, to the end of the world. That is the dream. And then we'll see from there where we go. We don't know where life will take us, but we know that we're going to be living in event, this one for some time to come, and maybe another one after that. So we'll always be van lifers.
Yeah,
That I know for sure.
for sure we'll have
Always a rig.
an Overlander rig. Yeah,
Always.
for sure.
Yeah.
We don't know if it will be this one forever or if we will upgrade, but for sure.
All right, guys, this is the end of the tour. It was so nice. It was so nice giving you guys a little taste of our home. We hope you love it as much as we do. That is literally our life right there. We love it so much, and Alejo did such an amazing job. I did help, but he did most of it. So proud of him. He's the engineer. But yeah, so thank you guys for coming, for watching, for being here and supporting us. We appreciate it.
And if you have any questions about anything that we've shown or said, just drop a comment below, and we always reply to comments. So I'm sure if you comment, you'll have a response from us.
Yeah. If you have any questions, we're always here to help. We're an open inbox. All right, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Vámonos.